welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the 2D podcast, 2D Dojin Ongaku. Too dope.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here listening to us. It's been a hot minute since we did this.
A hot and sultry 2 months.
Sweltering, absolutely miserable, beads of sweat flowing down my forehead. So dedicated listeners will recall that for a few episodes, I was coughing a fair bit, had to mute myself. That turned into full-blown pneumonia. So that wasn't really fun, but I'm
Rip
better.
DJ.
Yeah, literally rip.
He's dead now.
Yeah, well, I'm I'm speaking from the afterlife, which, you know, they have a pretty solid internet connection. So who am I to complain about being dead?
My name is Vito.
I'm DJ.
We are here to talk about
How do you pronounce this?
Dojin Ongaku. What do you mean? How do you pronounce it? It's literally right in the name.
No, the album. What are we reviewing today?
Oh, of course. Here are my notes here. Gichichi Gekijou Dai Yonsho Djent. Translate to that is an album by Kani Cream Choko Koro Ne, which is I guess you could localize that as Crab's Cream Chocolate Coronet, which is the name of the circle.
I'm into it.
So Gichichi Gekijou, I think, is this is completely ridiculous. Gichichi is simulated milk. Like it's not like literally it's a pseudo milk.
Pseudo milk sounds like a sick band name.
Like in this imitation in the style of the name of the album Kanisei Gichichi Gekijou Dai Yonsho would localize to Crab's Simulated Milk Theater Chapter 4 Djent.
Hell yeah.
Which I would personally localize this as just Connie Cream Theater Part 4. We can just I'm just gonna guess the Gichichi is just cream, so it's just Connie Cream Theater Part 4 Djent.
Just a really roundabout way of saying it, I guess.
It's completely ridiculous.
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. It is the fourth album by Touhou instrumental metal arrangement duo Kani Cream Choko Cornet. This album first released, not this past Comiket anymore.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
2 Comikets ago. It was Comiket 96, Comic Market 96 in August of 2019, just last year. And I happened to buy the last copy at the event. I may have mentioned this on the podcast previously. I forget if I have, but if not, I was waiting to sample the new Our Oath of Office release because they were at the space, right next to Connie Cream, and I was just waiting in line, and they're like, "Hey," they're like gesturing to me, like, "Hey, come listen to our Djent," And they're like in English, they're like, "It's Djent." So I'm like, all right, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I'll bite, I'll listen to this, and this is like it's the last copy, and I would feel awkward if I sampled it and then didn't buy the last copy. So
yeah,
but they've restocked the album, so it's not like they weren't gonna restock anyway. Both members list Lucky Star as one of their favorite anime, so I can only imagine that's where the Choco Coronet comes from in their circle name.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that came out in 2007.
Yeah, we're old.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Free was 7 years ago. You remember all the free jokes?
I do. Wow.
I saw a meme on Twitter. I retweeted a meme on Twitter, and I'm just like, wow, that was 7 years ago. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about crab milk.
Hell
simulated crab milk.
Who are these two fine gentlemen?
So I did look up stuff, so I got a few things to say. We got Arai Arya as the leader. It seems he's just like a normal Dojin guy, like he seems like the kind of guy just based on his profile who would make Dojinshi and Dojin Ongaku, especially compared to the other member, which is Djent Takahashi. who has gone ahead and listed his other musical acts in his website bio, and even has his picture, like his real ass picture,
Hmm.
on there. Whereas Arai Adia, who is the leader, he just has I think a picture of his guitar, if I remember correctly. Like he's very
Yes, that's correct.
he's more private than Takahashi is. Arai loves modern metal and Djent, while Takahashi is a classic / power metal fan who also likes pop and art, like classic pop and R&B.
Yeah,
And
he's a fan of.
he's a self-labeled shredder. So
He certainly looks the part.
yeah, no, he's got the hair metal look. It's
He's
pretty
got,
cool, actually.
like 5 necklaces on. You know,
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it a lot.
It's pretty uncommon. It feels like to me, it's pretty uncommon for like people who participate in dojin culture to just put themselves out there like Takahashi has. So that's pretty cool. Like he's just like, oh, I don't care. Here's the bands I'm in, and I was in, and here's what I look like. I'm a shredder. And I'm like, all right.
Hell yeah.
It lists that they share all the duties, and that's what they've listed on the site. I did not bother to open up, like, to find my CD and look up if anyone is specifically credited for individual arrangements. I know I mentioned this to you privately, but they have their birthdays listed, so it really
Oh, man.
they put me on notice because they're both 22 years old, and they
Oh,
at
man.
this point, while we're recording this, they've released 5 albums, and they're both 22. So I'm on the wrong side of 25, and I think you are too. And
Yeah, I'm pushing 26. It's not looking good for me.
yeah, so we're both on the wrong side of 25. So having having these young shredders is really putting my life in perspective.
Yeah, like it just says, 1998, and that like makes me instinctally just furrow my brow. I'm like, are you sure? Are you
But
sure?
look how metal they look.
Yeah.
Look how much more badass they look than us.
Damn. Yeah.
So these guys have been pumping out 2 albums every year, starting in Winter Comic at '93, which was back in 2007, 2017. Excuse me, 2007 was when Lucky Star came out. So we're at this point we're already an album behind because this album we're reviewing, Crab's Milk Theater 4, Connie Cream Theater 4, is not their newest album.
Did they release 5?
Yeah, they've released a 5th part.
Oh man.
This past Comic-Con.
Is it also Djent?
No,
Oh.
it's not. This album is the Djent album.
Oh.
So I wrote a note here. I'll be honest, I only bought this album because I felt like it would be rude. It was the last copy, and C, it had Djent in English written on it. The Djent in the album name is written in English. It's Djent. I don't actually like Djent, but I do like memes. And if you've been following like music and metal memes for the past like 5 years or so, it's Djent is long past its staying point, but I still enjoy a little bit of Djent in my diet. I just have a quick note. It's a full Perfect Cherry Blossom arrangement album. I got 8 tracks here. I think it's about half an hour long.
Totals up to 31 minutes 20 seconds. So
Yeah, so
nice,
it's
and easily digestible.
Little...
Just wanted to pop on back to the website, and aside from like their musicians, food, animation, they also have as the final thing, what would you take if you were to bring only 1 CD to a desert island? And Gian Takahashi notes Michael Jackson, Invincible.
I'm not familiar with Invincible. Like everyone knows about Bad and Thriller, of course, but I'm not too well versed in Invincible. Let me take a quick look at the track list here.
It's the final studio album.
Huh. What songs does it have on there?
You Rock My World, Cry, Butterflies. Okay. I think
I actually I don't know any of these songs.
I think I remember listening to You Rock My World many moons ago. It was probably on a Now That's What I Call Music compilation. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I think it's a neat little thing to add.
No, like I said, he's a real he's a fan of pop and R&B, so very, very cool.
Then he happens to shred on a Djent album, so
Yeah, and he's a shredder. But yeah, I mean, let's just hop right in then. The first song called Destiny.
in all caps.
Yeah. It's a Chen arrangement. I don't actually know how to I'm gonna try to pronounce this for the first time ever. I always just in my head I just pronounce this as dong the dong song dong. Like,
The dog song.
So
Oh, that's really
what's
good.
that? Tiao Ye Shon, which
Withered leaf
yeah, withered leaf. So
in parentheses.
Tiao Ye Shon, right? Something like that.
Yeah. It's Diao Ye Son. At least that's how the katakana goes.
Yeah, Tiao, right? No, it's not D, it's T. It's Ti. I
Oh
think.
yeah, you're right.
Mm.
Interesting.
But I always just in my head, I'm like, okay, it's Chen, it's the dong ye zong, like
Yeah, it's
I don't
good enough. No
Um,
one will criticize you for mispronouncing it.
well, no, if anything, they think it's funny and laugh at me, but that's not criticism. Feel free to laugh at me, but I will not change my ways of remembering the song. So my note, I think actually this is a really good way to start the album. If anything, it's too strong of a way to start the album, but we'll get to that as we get deeper into the tracks. We're hit with that modern metal sound right away.
Yeah, just like really, really tight. I feel like a little too tight. If you
Well,
ask me.
I'm not so worried about that. I feel like that's how modern metal sounds. It's a little bit sterile, If you're fine with that, I'm fine with it. But I think the drum mix is actually particularly good, considering they're all samples. Like obviously they're all sampled, but the way the mix is balanced, I like. It's not like catchy I'm over there. It's a pretty balanced mix to me. Like the band and the drums with the band sound good. The kick is still punchy, but doesn't overpower like the chugs. So I'd say like in this first song, especially, you like notice it. I think the lead tone of the guitar, like the lead guitar tone, is maybe like just a touch too loud. Like they could have brought like the EQ moved to highs just a little bit, or just brought down the volume of the leads just a little bit. Because like when the first time I listened to this album, I was in a car. The mid highs were even worse in the car. Like when I eventually went and listened to this back in my normal, with my normal monitors, and I'm like, okay, it's still too. It's not as bad, but it's still like a touch too loud for me. That's just like the tiniest, lamest nitpick ever. Otherwise, I think like these mixes overall. Spoiler alert! I think the mixes on this album are great.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints about it. I'm in agreement about the leads. I like the tone. It has bite to it, but just tone it down just a little bit.
I actually I think for this whole album, I like broke down like all of the parts, like for like every song. So you have for this song, and actually now that I'm reading, I'm just skimming my notes here. This song has a clean part, and there aren't that many clean parts on this album. Like I really feel like this album starts too strong. You have the intro riff, which is whatever, like it's a Djent metal intro riff in 4/4, and then you have the clean part, and then you have the chorus, at 108, it's like whatever. Okay, I'm at the chorus. Yeah, I just listen to the chorus. I'm like, okay, that's what the chorus sounds like again. All right, it's the Touhou part of the chorus, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here's the Touhou part. Now, here's the part. Here's the part at 140.
Oh Lord.
We
Yeah.
get it's the Djent part. This is what you came for. This is the Djent part where they make you think you're not in 4/4, but you actually are because it's just truncated polymeter. It's in. I actually I'm gonna post a picture in our chat right now. This is the time. This is the meter because I went ahead and figured out what was actually happening.
Wow, you actually. Oh wow.
So it's still 4/4. Like,
man, you really went out and transcribed it.
Yes, and I will post it in the video so you can see in the video. Then we get to 214. I just hit 214 and I had to laugh because I hate these kinds of licks.
God, just get this out of my ears.
I can't. No, this is I love it because I hate it because they're so dumb, right? This just
like fine.
Like it's very memorable to me. I think it sounds really dumb, and it's not just Djent bands that do this. There's an emo band.
I hear that a lot.
Yes, but there's an emo band too that was Free Throw.
Oh, them too.
They did it in one song on their first album, and I hate it there too. But it's with a twinkly pop punk tone, you know, like a dry, clean pop punk tone, but it's still like this. You know, and I'm just like, come on.
I feel like in Free Throw's case, it seems their utilization of it is ironic. Because
maybe, and it's not the exact kind of thing. I don't think I should throw a sample of it, but I will link to the song in the description. The song I am talking about is called "Tongue Tied" from their first album. But yeah, I think this song is this part of the song of Destiny is hilarious because it's like, okay.
But so it goes on for like 30 whole seconds.
It actually literally does. I'm like 214. I wrote, I hate these kinds of licks, and then 246. Back to the clean part. It's just copy paste that clean part, copy and paste that chorus, copy paste the intro, and there's your outro. There you go. There's the song. And that's it. At the end of this, my note is, I'll be honest, if you've listened to this whole song, you've heard the album. This is the album in a nutshell. It's actually probably like one of the better songs on this album. I think it's pretty good. Spoiler alert for the rest of the album.
Yeah, it's formulaic. You'll get the same copy pasted parts. Yeah, I don't want to spoil. Actually, I will spoil.
We're gonna spoil. You can actually stop listening to our review if you'd like. We're just gonna be talking about how many parts are copied and pasted throughout this whole album. But
they sure love to put the intro as the outro.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. And for Destiny, anyway, that's a good ass riff. I like that riff. Like, I think, despite all my joking aside, I think Destiny is actually a good song. It's one of the better songs on the album.
I think it's okay. I just don't really care at all for the breakdown or that one part.
What? Which part? The Djent part?
Yeah. Well, the Djent part, and
I love the Djent part. In fact, to me, this song has most of the actual Djent stuff in it. It's like they made one Djent song, and then they're like, okay, let's call the album Djent. And then the rest of the songs don't have a lot of time signature stuff, and then there's not a lot of like even Djent meme stuff, you know? Like, it's all just well, let's get to the next song. I mean, do you have anything else about Destiny? And we can get to the next song.
I do, but it's...
Oh, well, no. Please go.
Actually, I think I might have just like mentioned it here and there. Like, I like the ending, but it follows, in my personal opinion, it's just personal preference. And I think that's my stance towards Djent in general. I called it a dud of a bridge and an annoying breakdown. Having the final part being the same thing as the intro, fine. Yeah, and I'm in agreement. There's nothing wrong with repeating the intro as the outro, but they do this in, I think, like 6 out of the 8 songs on this album. That's kind of it. Just in general, like in the context of, how do I put this? Having the album start off with an arrange of Withered Leaf or Chen's theme, it made it, and having it be a Djent album reminds me of. Are you familiar with Electric Red?
Yeah, they're like one of your favorite circles, right?
At least their EP, where it's just like one 26-minute song.
I don't know if I've heard that one. I've heard the one where it's 2 8-minute songs, I think.
Right, that one is they do like a stoner metal arrange of Koishi's theme.
Yeah. That
one. So Electric Red's first full album, Subterranean Sun, they also do an arrange of Chen's theme. So I mean, it's entirely different in terms of like their tone and like arrangement style. But I was just thinking that was just what I was reminded of immediately.
What is it, like the same kind of riff or?
No.
To me, that more says the like the fun part of listening to Touhou arranges. You're listening to the same source, but different. It's different.
It's different. That's what makes it fun.
It does.
I have nothing else to say.
Oh, okay. Then let's go to the next song. We got Chelsea, not in a range of like Sakura or anything like that. So why is it called Chelsea? It's stage 4, Tenku no Hana no Miyako, capital city of flowers in the sky.
Good intro.
I actually don't like the intro. I think it's dumb. My first note here is it's a modern metal style arrangement of capital city. There's a cool breakdown at 136.
Oh yeah, I like this one a lot more than the previous one.
Well, it's just a basic ass metalcore riff, but there's 2 guitars and they alternate stereo, so that's fun. Like I like that.
I want to point out, if you're listening to it right now, listen intently at the 56-minute mark.
056 or
056.
What am I listening for?
There's a tiny little error in the.
Well, I heard something in there. Oh, is that a punch in? What is that? They punch in the guitars bad or like?
I feel like they accidentally hit another string or something.
Well, if you go to 234, you can hear how they left in or didn't notice that they left in an accidental pick scrape when they punched in these multi-track guitars. Like I timestamped at 234, but oh yeah, you can hear it as the next lead line starts.
Oh, I kind of zoned out for a moment.
Well, basically, you've caught a different one, and I've caught a different one. It's just like, okay, they've just punched in parts or mistakes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was on purpose, okay, that's fine. If it was accident, like they didn't notice, like they didn't care, and I'm like, Either way, who's to say?
Yeah, who's to guess?
Who knows?
Artistic intent. Certainly not us.
I like when the guitar. Yeah, I already mentioned this. I wrote a note. I just like when the guitars stereo bounce left and right. So there's another instance of that at 240.
Yeah, there it is. Pretty fun.
We got a shred alert at 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
It's definitely Gian Takahashi just going in on it. Yeah, that's a good solo.
I like the pause. You know that saying where it's like it's not about the notes you play, it's the space in between. So I do like that they just stop for a second and then shred some more.
You actually like it? Is this a
What?
common thing to do?
That's solo?
No,
Yeah.
at 3:11 it just stops for like 3 whole seconds.
Yeah, I like that.
You do?
Yeah. It's so funny. Metal is funny. I think that's, a lot of people take metal too seriously, you know?
Uh-huh.
And but metal is a joke, so you should just laugh at it when it's funny. That's what I think anyway,
Mhm.
But that's the last note I have. It's like shred alert.
I'm sure you've noticed when they're playing the melodies, they love, I don't know who's playing the lead guitar, but they love using a lot of vibrato at the end.
Okay.
So that's fine. I dig it. And here especially, on top of the vibrato, they love to slide down the neck at the end of the note they're playing. And it gets really particularly apparent, let's see, like 3:30.
Hmm.
Like they hold a note and then it just goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I didn't write about that specifically, but like the pick scrapes that I was talking about on these multi-track guitars is because they're sliding down and they just scrape, and it's like they're not editing out those slides or anything, like they're just leaving them in.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely a purposeful decision. Like they want
You
they
think
want it to
so?
happen in there.
I thought it was just laziness, like leaving the whole track record, like leaving the punched in track. Like clearly they've just multi-tracked the guitars, and then put them on like solo lanes. I don't know.
I mean, you know more about recording guitars than I do.
Only a little bit. Like it's like they used two different tracks to record the same guitar line, so that they could just punch in different lead lines. But then they left out the fade out, because when you're finished playing a riff, you just like you do it like you slide.
You do?
That's what I do instinctively anyway.
Oh,
I
have I been playing guitar wrong this whole time?
Well, do you just leave your hand where you were playing, or do you slide to like cut the note? Like, how do you cut your note when you're done? My hand hurts. I can't let it ring. My hand will hurt, so I just slide, just end it.
I haven't played guitar in a hot minute.
Uh-oh.
I better rectify that. So now that I've identified that they do that, then the fact that that's like been implanted in my mind, then I'm going to look out for that throughout the rest of the album. So
No, I definitely hear what you're saying. It's something I caught right away in this track.
Eh.
I don't know. I really can't tell if it's purposeful or not, because it sounds like it doesn't sound bad, except for like the scrapes, which I feel like they could have taken out. It's like it's modern metal. I know you recorded this in your bedroom, so like
truly DTM.
I'm not like mad that you didn't record a real band or anything, but I don't know. That sound is like, okay, I'm going all in on the bedroom recorded style,
It's an aesthetic.
I get, yeah, maybe it is. Like that's why I said I can't tell if it's on purpose or not. It's Chelsea. It's a modern metal arrangement. That's the short version is it's just a modern metal arrangement, like you could find, I don't know, YouTube.
It's metal. That's really like the extent of my feelings on it. It's metal.
Yeah. Next song is called PyGmy, and the G,
oh my sweet lord,
and the P and the G are capitalized. I mean, that's a Djent reference, right?
Is it?
I feel like it is, but I don't know what to. What's the album with the guy with the 6 arms and he's posing like a Buddhist?
Obzen. That's Meshuggah.
Okay, so is that a Meshuggah reference?
No, it was
No?
pretty sure it's not, because the first letter of Obzen is lowercase,
Oh.
and then the Z is capitalized.
Man, I could have sworn this was a Djent reference.
I think we probably should have brought someone in who actually knows Djent.
Well, no one knows Djent. Who knows Djent?
Djent is unknowable.
Anyway, so what do we got here?
It's an ancient temple arranged, the stage 5 theme. Touhou Yo-Yo-Mu, ancient temple.
107. Once again, we got some very obviously punched in guitars at 107.
It's a metal intro.
Like you could just skip to 107 for me. Just listen to that solo guitar.
107.
Yeah, 107.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
It sounds
weird.
And you can hear a little bit of the scrape too. It's just like
it's not fine. I find it really annoying.
Not sure if here's my note here. I'm not sure if it's a stylistic choice or just not bothered by it, but a pro modern metal record wouldn't leave these cut-ins like this.
If they're not bothered by it,
super copy pasted.
Yeah.
I mean, they released it, so like they must be fine with it. It's like, not to say that punching in or copy pasting is necessarily bad, but if it can be pointed out, it's usually not a good sign. They did it in the last song too, but just sitting in silence for a full measure isn't interesting. I guess like listening to it now, I liked it in the last one, but apparently there's just a part where they just stop. Here.
See, now you're on the same wavelength as me. I don't like.
Well, where did you timestamp it for the song?
What?
Did you timestamp it in this song? Or?
Yeah, at 121, they stop again for 3 whole seconds.
Okay, see, that sucks. That was actually like a full 3 second silent. Okay, the previous song was just like a second, and then they kept shredding.
No, I counted. That was also 3 seconds.
Really? I'm going back. Hold on, we're going back.
Yeah.
We're going back to Chelsea.
Pause is 3:11. Or
let me see here.
Okay, fine. I'm a second and a half.
Yeah, see, that's not long at all.
Okay, all right, my bad.
But this song, no, and I wrote this like they did. I wrote that they did it in the last song too, but not to the same extent. It's just sitting in silence for full measure isn't interesting, guys. It's just ridiculous and dumb.
Like,
come on.
Imagine if you were playing this live, and a lot of these people probably aren't familiar with your music or what you do, and then you just stopped playing for 3 seconds. What would they think? Why would the band just stop?
I don't know. And is it even? It must be on tempo. I didn't try and count it out, but like it must be on tempo, right? Like
I'm not inclined to listen to it again.
3
and check.
1 2 4 1 2. Yeah, it's 2 full measures of silence. Like, wow. Just having a guitar playing what amounts to just a dad rock part makes this song sound really barren and void of anything good.
I think the riff in itself is just, in the context of having followed like 2 pretty heavy and decently heavy metal ranges, this dad rock riff is incredibly
it's not even a riff,
corny.
it's just a chord progression.
Yeah, it's corny. I don't like it at all.
You just go back to 0:18, like 18 seconds in. It's just like, come on. It's like, what are you, Pearl Jam? Like, come on, guys. This album says Djent on the cover, not 10. Classic grunge album by Pearl Jam, released like 30 years ago. Actually, a very good album. I love 10.
Yeah, it's good. I like that.
10 is such a good album. Anyway.
This is a rock arranged, but they forgot to change the settings from their Djent files.
At 3:23, I made a note. It's like, oh, is this an original guitar part? I like it. At 3:23.
Oh yeah, the solo is good. Probably the one good part.
That is such a good solo, and then it's like 3:36. Oh, the Touhou is back.
Yeah, that's a good solo, and then the rest is
okay, that's boring. and then a shred part.
And I get that, like the original melody, Ancient Temple, they do have a key change, and as many of Zun's arranges or like themes often have. But in the context, seeing context.
Yeah,
a
but they're
lot.
not. Yeah, but they're not truck driver key changes like this garbage one.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
what I was
fucking.
gonna point out.
It's a fucking garbage truck driver key change
When I
in an
listened
album
to it, I'm like,
in an album that claims to be Djent.
when I heard it, I'm like, oh god, Vito's not gonna like this.
And you were right.
It sucks.
I hate it. I hate it.
This is the longest track on the album. It's 4:55. It's exhausting to listen to.
Jesus. It really is. For anyone who doesn't know it, a key change is when the song changes, I guess, the notes that are being played in the song. Just like, I guess you can call it a modulation as well. Like, it's the same melodies, but the key, like the actual notes have changed. They can go like all higher or all lower. And sometimes you can change keys by just changing, like keeping the same notes, but changing the focus of the note. Like, it's weird to explain in normal terms, I guess. But I guess shorthand for the truck driver key change, that's when you specifically for the last chorus of the song, you take all your notes and you shift them up one half step. You just shift them up. It's lazy, it's boring, and it sucks. Like,
couldn't have said it better myself.
I hate them. A good example of this is Bon Jovi, "Living on a Prayer." They sing the chorus again, but higher. What are some other good examples you think? Like, this is a really popular 80s and 90s thing, I feel like.
Let me look it up.
Oh, thank you.
It's even on TV tropes. Amazing.
Hit me with some of those dad rock examples.
All right, there's "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys. That definitely has the
Yes,
Wow.
it does.
There it is.
We can tell we're 90s kids.
Ooh-wee. Anywho, it's lazy. It doesn't make it any more interesting, and it's just a way to extend the song.
Pad out your song. Yeah. Like, honestly, I'm more of a fan of just doing the same chorus again. Just do the same chorus. Like, it actually pisses me off when there's a truck driver key change. Oh yeah, that's so bad. Can we go to the next song, or you got more to say about this one?
I've said my piece.
This is just a boring arrangement
with a good solo.
I really do like that solo part. Like, that's a cool, those intervals are really cool in that solo. So, but yeah, we have this next song. Called XerXes, I guess. And the X's are capitalized, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a Djent reference or not, but Hiroi Kecho Iru Koto, Boss 5. It's
Yomu's theme.
Till win.
Yes. Hiroi shoots a strange bird.
Mm.
Isn't this the name of the villain in 300?
Probably. It's a well-known name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The legendary king of Persia. Main antagonist of 300. Okie dokie. That's neither here nor there. What you got to say about this?
Not much. Ignoring the intro for a second, at 16 seconds. I like this groove. I actually like this.
Oh, it's really good. Definitely one of the better intros in this album.
Yeah. And then you hit 30 seconds and it's boring.
It just flattens out.
Yep.
Like, how dare you? How dare you take all this momentum and then just take a dump on it and do nothing?
Yeah, it just stops. being interesting for a whole minute and a half, you know?
Did you notice that they leave out like a note from the original melody?
It's close. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. So no, I did not notice. Why? Was it an important note?
No,
It just bugs you.
I'm not gonna say it irked me. It's just the thing that I noticed.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not too sticky about it. It's like, oh, if I can recognize the main the idea, it's like, okay, this is the Toho part. Got it. Wow, they really do play the same. They play the same riff for like a minute and a half. They really do. It's not a riff. They play the Toho melody for a minute and a half. That's like half the song. Jesus Christ.
And then they repeat it, and I think for
I
the
think they repeat
majority
it
of
like
this
three
song,
times. Like,
yeah,
and then at 2 minutes, the groove comes back. That good part comes back. Give me some of that good at 2 minutes. I'd say this is a Djent part at 2 minutes.
yes.
And then 2:15, bored again. This song is not good. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. I don't think it's good though. Production's fine. Mix sounds good. Like I said at the very beginning, the mixes on this album sound great. So I mean, if this is the kind of stuff you're into, it's great. But for me, this song is very boring, except for the 15-second parts that are good. There's 2 of them in this song, so I'd say about in a 3-minute 30-second song, I'd say about 30 seconds are really good, and then the rest is boring.
It's a shame, really.
Those parts are really good.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish they had expanded on those a little more, but
well, it's it's 92 seconds shorter than PyGmy.
Yeah. Well.
So that makes a world of difference in that I'm not sick of it. It's just it's there and then it goes.
I don't know. Yeah, it's the last song, PyGmy, is frustrating because it's actually like I really don't like it. This song, XerXes, is just boring. Like it's whatever, you know.
Most of it is whatever.
Then you got those really good hype. You got those hype parts. You got the hype intro and the Djent part.
It's so cool.
Whatever.
How dare you? I mean, I'm not offended by it.
Yes, that's actually good.
I'm not mad
like
at it.
It's not offensive like PyGmy was. PyGmy.
Christ almighty. Yeah. That's kind of it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the next song. Sleeper. I have started, so it must be okay. Oh yeah, I love the synth part that starts the song. If they were really forward thinking, they would have put some trap drums in the intro. Yeah, this intro is so good.
I really like. So the synth intro is obviously great. Like we've established this, and then the synth appears here and there in the rest of the song, and I really appreciate its presence.
This intro riff too. I didn't note it. This intro riff is good. I wonder if they're just copying the synth line.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah. At 40 seconds, I'm like, okay, this is boring. But then I wrote it like 110. It gets good again because they're just playing. The problem, and I don't know if this is made clear for the people who are just listening to our stupid review, but like the parts that are boring, they're just playing the Touhou part over like a boring beat.
Yeah, and the boring chord progression riff in the background.
Nondescript backing band playing. There's no groove. It's just whatever. You know, like they're just like it's just a bland playthrough.
Yeah, it's
okay. So what happens? Gotta see what happens at 110 here.
The synth returns.
Yes, the synth comes back, and actually, and I know this the source, but that makes a good guitar riff. Like that's actually a good guitar part. Like that's a good way to arrange the source material. Like I don't know. that's just me. The synth really elevates the song. That's probably why I started, because I'm like, there's nothing like super crazy about this song, but on an album like this, it's one of the better ones. You know? It's because of the syncopation of the guitar riff, and then the break. Like it's that break, you know? I don't know.
No, I agree. And the really boring part makes its return.
Yeah,
because per usual they like reusing parts. Sure.
Yeah.
But in reusing parts, they also reuse the boring parts.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't write any other notes. Like it's just whatever.
Yeah, one of my notes for Sleeper is that I'm running out of things to say in general.
Yeah, it's really let's just go to the next song. It's called Schwartz.
Oh yeah, Schwartz.
Schwartz. Shoujo Gensel, Maiden's Illusionary Funeral, Necrofantasy. It's Ron. Extra Boss Ron.
What an intro.
Yeah. It's just Djent. This is Djent.
And I think it's here that finally we get to hear them really digging deep into I don't know what guitars they have. I know what's his face? Gian Takahashi has listed his like the gear he owns.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember any of them. But I think this is at the very least a 7-string guitar. And I think this is the first instance of hearing down like really low end riffs. So I appreciate it.
Arai-san has one of those headless guitars, like one of those famous, like what are they called? The Strandbergs or whatever. That's his profile picture.
Yeah, Steinberger.
Yeah, whatever. Like
whatever.
It's the 7-string headless guitars that all the Djent bands use. I don't know why.
It's trendy.
It is trendy. I think they look. I mean, I don't hate how they look. They're pretty cool looking guitars, actually.
It saves space.
They're small. Anyway, that's not here or there. It's this song, Gents. They just tune. You're just using that low tune. They're just chugging. Is that a B?
I feel like I should know this, considering I compose
What's that
almost
note?
exclusively.
What's that note? That's an A. Either using the 8 string or they downtuned the 7 or something, because that's a low A, man. That's
Boom.
Oh, they're going lower. They must be using like an 8 string or something. Well, it's an A, and then it goes a little lower too. So they must be using an 8 string, or they downtuned a lot on their 7 string. And then at 50 seconds, it's like, oh, here's the Touhou part. Great.
Boom. Oh, it's even lower. You're right.
Yeah, it goes a little lower. So I'm just like, oh, get a little brown note in there.
Yeah. So at 50 seconds, the Touhou melody kicks in, and here another like metal mainstay, the pick scrape, famously utilized by Gojira. Pew, pew.
in the backing track, like the backing guitars. So I'm guessing by my note here, they just repeated both parts again.
Yes, and then did the key change.
So yeah, at 2:13, it's a different part. That's not a key change though at 213.
Oh, it isn't?
That's just a mode change. They're still playing
mode
the same
change.
notes.
Okay, might be. Yeah, I like this one. And it's only 3 minutes 13 seconds.
I mean, it's 3 minutes and 50 seconds of the same 3 parts.
Yeah, of the same 3 parts, which I happen to I like it.
It's inoffensive. That's what I would say. I don't hate it, so it's whatever. Guess we'll talk about the next song. I don't got much to say about Schwartz. Next song's Ambient. It's anything but ambient.
It's Necrophantasia. You know it. You love it. It's used everywhere.
Man, this song starts so boring though. It's like, okay, you're playing.
My first note, it's Necrophantasia.
My first note, it's an instrumental metal arrangement of Necrophantasia. Like, my first actual note is at 58 seconds. Why did they put a blast beat here?
That is also my second note. The blast beats do nothing for me.
Why? Yeah, like doesn't sound good. It sounds. I gotta laugh. It sounds stupid.
Yeah, like
you're playing like this power metal lead. It's Necrophantasia. It sounds like a power metal lead, but you're playing like grindcore beats, playing Swedish black metal beats.
like I'm not saying that they, I'm not going to tell them, hey, you shouldn't have used it, but
oh no, of course not. But I'm going to say I think it sounds dumb and silly. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, whatever they're trying to accomplish with its inclusion, it lands flat for me. Besides, me recognizing, oh yeah, there's some blast beats.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm just saying what I think about it, and I don't think that was very cool. It's like, okay, you programmed some kick drum.
And then same with if you hop on over to 136, they really go ham with programming those the double bass.
That is my third note.
Wow.
136. What is the purpose of programming your kicks in this way? It is not like you're riffing. You're not doing like a thrash beat or like a super technical beat that's like matching the kicks. You just I don't know. My last note, this is my fourth and last note for the song. It fades out after repeating the same parts again. It's just not interesting to write about, like, at all. I don't know.
Man, dude, check out the silly tom drum fill at 409.
Sure.
I just think it's really goofy.
Wow, I I never noticed that before. It's like, have I really been that tuned out that I never heard? That is silly.
And it pans like from the left, like from left to right.
Well, that's good. I actually think that's a good way to pan toms, because I like to pan the drums as if you're playing them when you're listening. Side note, Low when he does the mixes for Kachi Kachiyama, he did them for Register 6, Shinigiba Satellite, he mixes them in the opposite way.
Oh.
So he mixes it in the like you're listening to the drums. It's like, why would you mix as if you're listening to the drums? You want to mix as if you're playing the drums so that people can air drum. That's just me. That's a personal preference. So I'm just joking, but yeah, like you want to mix a stereo spread, like your cymbals off to the side too. And I mean, you put your kick and your snare in the center, even though usually most people play them like slightly off center, when you're playing the kit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you want to like stereo spread your cymbals, off to the sides, and you like hard pan your toms just so that like you get more spread when you're playing them, you know, when you're listening to them. I guess that's just my opinion. I just think
definitely.
that fill is silly. You're exactly right. The fill is very silly because it's just a gorilla fill. It's like,
I feel like my other note
I gotta
is
listen to it again. Hold up. And then it fades out, which
it's the first song to fade out as a whole.
it is. It's also to me a sign of laziness. Didn't feel like writing a conclusion, so just faded it out. I don't know. That's also just my opinion.
It's Necrophantasia, but they got together and said, "Hey, let's fart around with the drums and let's add some blast beats. Let's add some double
blast
bass.
beats.
Let's
I'm
add
sure
this
that's
goofy
cool.
drum fill. Why not? Fuck it.
It's whatever. Like
It's fine.
I'm not offended by it. Yes, it's whatever.
Is it ambient?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
It's
Not in my opinion.
It's false advertising then.
The last song is called Murasame, which is a Sakura Japanese dream. Is it supposed to be Japanese or Japanese?
It is Japanese.
But it was written by a Japanese person. Is it a joke? Like, did Zune make a joke? Like, I've never known. Like, I'm asking now. Like, because Zune is a funny guy, so I would not put it past him to make a funny joke. You know?
Who can say? Who can truly say? Zune can say.
He could. It's like, hey, if I ever get to ask him a question, I'm like, hey, is this a joke? Like, making a joke, or is this
oh man, I'm gonna line up getting that.
like, is this supposed to be
line for-
Japanese and you made it Japanize as a joke because it's in because the text is in English?
I'm gonna go to the next comic head and get in line for the Team Shanghai Alice booth. It takes like 4 hours to get to the front, and I'm not gonna buy the game. I'm gonna ask Zune, hey, when you title this Japanese dream, did you do this as a joke?
Anyway, this is the credits theme. I think it's good. I think this is really good.
I agree.
It's kind of simple, but it's good.
Yeah, and if you're gonna choose a theme from Perfect Cherry Blossom for the final song of your Arrange album, might as well go with a staff roll.
Yeah, especially in the context of this album, like this is the only like sort of more laid back song. Yeah, like this is good.
See, now this is ambient.
It is. I didn't want to make that joke.
Okay. Yeah, low hanging fruit, but really though.
Yeah, this is good. I did already star this song, so like I knew it was good already. So this is probably like the best or second best song on the album to me personally.
I would put it as the best.
But that's just our personal preferences, you know, if you like metal.
Which is kind of funny in that in an album that has Djent in the name, we've chosen the one with no Djent and the one that's mostly ambient as our favorite. Again,
well, I think that speaks more to our personal preferences than anything. It's so good. Like it's simple, and that's what makes it good.
It's short too.
It is. I kind of wish there was a little longer, like there was another part, but asking them to write another, like to make another good part, probably a little too much to ask for.
Yeah, and I think the way that they've utilized Sakura, that's kind of it. That's all they have to work with. There's not much else to the source melody.
Fair enough.
They could have done a truck driver key change to lengthen it. It's the monkey's paw. You sort of wished it could be longer. What if they made it longer by doing a key change?
Truck driver key change.
Yeah,
That'd be just the death of me.
you asked for it.
But yeah, this song is really good. So I'd say for me personally, you know, you'd want to check out Destiny, Sleeper, and Murasame if you can. Like those are, to me, the best songs on here.
I'm not as enthused about Destiny, but Sleeper and Murasame, I'm on board. Those are definitely my two favorite.
But yeah, that I just listened to the whole song. There's not like a lot to talk about. Like it's just a simple, laid back metal arrangement, but it has clean parts. It's like it knows when to pull back. Like that's the thing too. Like none of the songs ever like stop to take a breath. I feel like, you know, like this song does. So it's good.
It's good. Nice, short and sweet. Makes good use of the source theme. No problems on my end.
But I guess to summarize the album, if you listen to the first song of the album, you pretty much have listened to the whole album. You don't really need to listen to any more. I'm just like not into these arrangements, a lot of them, and I'm like I don't know if it's just the stuff I like or if it's like the fault of the arrangers. You know, it's just like I'm not into it. It's we talked about it a lot already. That it's just to me it's kind of bland. A lot of them. I don't like the production sounds great, but the arrangements fall flat for me.
Yeah, structurally speaking, it's boring. And I know you mentioned that it's fine that they like reuse the intro as the outro, but I kind of got tired of that pretty quickly. You like by the second or third track, I'm like, oh, okay, fine, if you want. So for me, a common thought I had while listening to this album was I'd really prefer to listen to other arranged albums instead. And I did do that. Like in the first couple of like listens, I stopped in the middle. I went to go listen to something else.
I don't know. I just spaced out like listening to these. So it was hard to focus in on these. I had to listen to this album like 5 times to finally get notes written.
Yeah, me too, actually. I was playing Monster Hunter. I had that going in the background. And then sometimes I'd have a slight little chuckle at the dumb thing they do in Destiny.
I don't know. Like I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but like people who just take the song and make it metal, like for YouTube or OC Remix or whatever, like that's not interesting for me. So like, it's Old Town Road, but it's Djent, you know, it's like that kind of thing's boring. I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. So this falls into that same category for me. Not specifically that it had to be Djent. It's just like these arrangements are just take the song.
Yeah, it's like those titles.
Play the lead melody from the song with a metal guitar. Like what are you? Nothing's changed, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like some of the riffs are creative, and some parts, you know, throughout the album.
Oh yeah,
I really dig them.
But the ratio of creative and interesting parts is just so
skewed.
Low. It's so
skewed in the direction that we'd really prefer it not to be. It's kind of like those titles on YouTube. What if blank but blank?
Yeah.
What if TOUHOU but Djent?
This may make it seem like I am like a petty, salty loser, which is true, but
let's hear it.
I think there's a correlation with like this. Well, like what I was talking about, like, oh, make it metal on YouTube or for OC Remix or whatever. I think there's a correlation with that and like how popular this kind of arrangement gets.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, now I seem like a fat, petty loser. I think that's fine. You get to make money making what you like. That's the dream, etc. These guys pump out 2 albums every year. Like it was August, and then they had another album out in December. So like clearly they worked the whole year on both of these to have them done by August and December. You know, and they sold out when they released this album. So I mean, I don't know how many they did in their first run, but that's great. Good for them. You know,
I respect it. I respect it a lot.
It's just not for me. Sorry, I just don't like it. I'm not a huge fan.
I'm definitely not. You know, I don't like saying this, but this isn't something I'm particularly interested in coming back to listening to.
Oh no, I will most likely never listen to this again unless I'm listening to this review, which I will do because when I'm bored, I need to throw on a podcast. I'll throw on our own podcast. I don't care.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you really?
No, not really.
Okay, good. Imagine listening to yourself.
Well,
you're
I am, and this will actually make me seem like a conceited prick, but I listen to Find Your Way like constantly.
Yeah, actually I listen to my own tracks from time to time, like, damn, this fucker knows what's up.
I know exactly what I like.
Who would have thunk it? It's like
Yeah.
it's like it's me, as if I wanted to make a Touhou arrange. Weird.
Well, that's the thing too. And this probably goes for these guys. Like, if you're not your own fan, not necessarily your biggest fan, but like if you're not your own fan, then like, what's even the point? Like, why'd you even do it in the first place if you don't like your own stuff? You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you don't like what you're doing, why do it?
Exactly. Well, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, clearly these guys like to shred. And Djent, sorry guys, sorry Connie Cream, sorry Crab's Milk, chocolate cornet.
Chocolate cornets are good. I would eat them.
I don't know if I've ever had one.
Yeah. Have you had any pastries with chocolate cream filling?
I'm not a huge fan of filling in pastries, like cream filled donuts and stuff. I don't.
Yeah, I getcha.
It's not for me.
Put it on the outside.
Just this album, it's not for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say again, like the production on this album is really good. Like,
yes,
this doesn't take away the fact that I don't like it, but like it sounds good. Sounds pretty good, pretty strong. We're just rambling at this point. Like, do you have anything else to say about it?
I mean, not really. My last note is: am I a Touhou boomer for continuing to
We may be. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not interested in this.
I will always come back to old Touhou arrange albums from the mid to late 2000s, or maybe like early 2010s. But
where's early stop?
Like 2011, 2012.
Huh. I think what year did
because Sally was around. That was like their second.
Sally's first. Well, Sally released like 3 albums a year, so like.
Yeah, exactly. So
nuts.
Sally, Sadomasochism, Syndrome. Syndrome was 2012, and I think that's sort of like the end point of like my the peak of my interest in Touhou arranges.
Huh.
And I think it's natural, like going back to the subject of am I a Touhou boomer, I think it's natural to be preferential towards what you listen to
when you were younger. Yeah,
exactly. Your formative years, both in terms of like your Touhou fandom and your actual self. So
that's true, but let's not give this album too much benefit of the doubt. I don't think it's a very great modern album either.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a Touhou male album I liked that was released after Return to Forsetia.
Oh, man.
By Clockwork's Tracer.
Oh man, what a banger! What's my favorite one off that? Slave to the Rain.
Slave to the Rain is so good, but every song is good.
Yeah,
every song on the album is actually good. Probably the weakest song on the album is Cross the Luminous Ocean, and that song is still pretty good. We should review this album.
Man, can you believe we caught them live?
Can we believe we played the same shows? They were so good. We were so bad.
Oh Christ! I was gone off like shotgunning two strong zeros. What a terrible
no way
decision.
gonna ever give in. So good.
Good.
We got to review that album eventually. It's a modern classic. But no, I actually don't have anything else to say about Connie Cream Theater 4.
No, me neither.
Djent.
I
feel like I feel like if they actually went more into like the prog like stuff, like the weird time signature stuff, that like actual instead of like Djent memes, you know?
Yeah,
Because
I think
the word Djent is like a meme now. So like Djent is just any modern metalcore. It's not actually like progressive, weird
yeah.
stuff. You know?
If you're really like jonesing for a Toho Djent arrange album, go check out Electric Red. They have they're two full lengths, Subterranean Sun and Red Recollection in particular. They really go all out with their Djent arranges. Instead
All
of
right.
like what if Tohu but Djent, it's more like what if Tohu but specifically Meshuggah. So if
Ahead of their time, clearly.
man, I wish they came back and did stuff. Is their last like release or last involvement in Toho in general was like 2014. I miss them. Good old Electric Red.
There are so many circles I miss.
Actually, 2011. Christ.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I miss Mass Attack. I miss Think Tank.
Think Tank.
I miss. Oh no, I miss Mohican Sandbag. Oh man, no one did it better. Well, again, neither here nor there. We
Yeah,
we
I
were
guess
here
we're
to
just
talk
stalling
about.
for time. Like, we're really, I'm gonna edit all this like empty space out. Like, we actually don't have anything to talk about now. We're done roasting this album.
Yeah, you honestly, you listener, honestly could have just tuned out maybe 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, this episode sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Connie Cream.
Sorry, listeners. It's been 2 months. We're getting back into the swing of things.
This is the album we were gonna review 2 months ago.
I was dead.
I don't know. This was not. Well, not. We can't like every album too. I just
Yeah,
feel like an
exactly.
asshole. I've said some asshole things in this episode, so now I'm just like, now I am just like a jerk. That's really all we have to say about the album.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. My
Yeah.
name's Vito,
I'm DJ.
and this is with the 2D podcast, Two Dopes, Dojin Ongaku reviews.
2 months late. But we'll hope to see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.